Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by DrRoto.com.
So let's get to it.
Bring the bang!
What's up, everybody? This is Heat Override, and I'm ready to bring the pain for you and Dr. Roto this week. Ooh, yeah! I got another show planned for you. It's going to be awesome as we do the hard hits review. Woo! Let's bring the pain, people. Of course, this is a live show. So you want to get in here. You want to get your questions asked. You want to make sure you get over to Dr. Roto on the YouTube and the X. You want to like, follow, and share. Ask questions. I'm live. Did you like the UFC Vegas 119 card? Did you not like the card? I liked it. You're going to hear why about that. Also, at the end of this, I will be doing the Scott Fish Bowl 16. My article dropped today. I had some of the guys in my division actually pop up and go, hey, I really like the article He'd Override. So I just want to say thank you to those people that do that. And I want to say thank you to everybody that we get in here. Again, you want to like and follow Dr. Roto on the X and YouTube. Hit the notifications. Dr. Roto's going off. He just dropped 5 players that people aren't looking for and even gave you a bonus. Who's the bonus? You got to go see. But I have one of those players. And these are closers, man. One of them is one of my closers. Aroldis Chapman might be getting traded. If he doesn't trade it, you'll have to see who the player Dr. Roto is targeting. That's what we do with Dr. Roto. We have the right here for all of your fantasy needs because we do UFC, NFL, MLB, NBA, WNBA, soccer. We do tennis. We do everything that we can do. You know me. I'm like the 5-sport champion of the world on top of being the grand champion. But, man, I'm excited to get over to the site. Use code word win. Get a percentage off of your subscription. I'm pretty sure my article was free today, so you can definitely go to Dr. Roto and check that out. Go under the Heat Override section. It's on the front. Dr. Roto was talking about doing a free weekend. I don't know if he's doing it this weekend. If he does it this weekend, it would be a great weekend to do it because we have a week off of the UFC next week. But this week, we got UFC Baku. Our guy, Juicebox Walker, is fighting on the card. He's fighting Yakev. That's going to be a hell of a fight. But we got some good fights, and we can make some money from some of these fights as well, too, man. But I'm ready to get it. Let's get some people popped in here. Of course, ask your questions. Talk to me. Tell me what you got. Did you not agree or not? But we're going to do the fight card breakdown for UFC Vegas 119 Kape versus Horiguchi. Let's get to it. Let's add that stage right there. All right, we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and we're going to start the night off with Segula versus Priscilla Castellon. Now, this right here, this fight is not even the right card. Where did this go? Anyway, we'll just do it off of what I got. Why did you pull up the thing? Shane Collins versus Atari Tanzalui. Yeah, I know, isn't that crazy? You put the thing in and it pulls up a whole nother thing. Then you go there and you do it. I don't know. We're gonna just blame maybe the user on that. He's got to get fired. We got to fire that guy. If we don't fire that guy, something wrong with me. I mean, I'm Heat Override, right? You would think that. Shane Collins versus Atari Tanzalui, right? We got the points. I said play knockout points. We'll talk about that, of course, later. I picked Collins. We had Leon Shavazian versus Livon Chokelele. But people didn't really know. They didn't think that Chokelele was going to knock Boy out. Let me just tell you, this fight was actually funny. If you actually saw this beat, the whole fight was told with the leg kick to Shabazian. When he put his foot back and his foot stepped on the other foot, that's Fighter Basic 101. Leon Shabazian needs to go get with his brother Edmund and figure out his footwork because I don't care if he's a wrestler or not. That dude's footwork sucks. I mean, you could come to TKO Erie in Pennsylvania, Leon Shabazian. We can get your footwork ready, but it was terrible, and that told the whole story, and it showed that he hurt him. It wasn't soon after that Chokelele had knocked him out. We had Rosa, who was the favorite the whole week, against Luana Santos, who was the dog all week. Right before the fight started, we had a negative 102 on Santos. I had the plus 100. Everything worked out for us. I picked Santos. If you know fight theory, then you know why everybody that was smart picked Santos. Then we had Gaston Malanos versus Michael Aswell Jr. And this started practically a 3-fight streak that just got worse and worse. Of course, Bia Mesquita was in the middle of that, so it breaks it up. So over the next 4 fights, the next 3 fights were terrible. Michael Aswell definitely outworked Balanos. Now, Balanos did get some good shots in, but at no point did I feel that Balanos was in control of that match. Aswell was going forward the whole time. I thought that was a crappy deal by the judges that cost us. That one cost us because that was one of my money lines. That was the money line on the Five-tastic Picks as well, too, which, of course, the Five-tastic Picks is behind the paywall. So I was like, come on, man, that was terrible. So then it gets only better. It literally only got better because then we had Alan Nascimento, who was the favorite, like a negative 520 favorite against Mitch Raposo. Now, Mitch Raposo was getting tagged up, but Nascimento never went to the ground with him. He never went for it. He decided to just attack him. And the whole time, Nascimento didn't do anything. He had no 3-hit combos. He was only like 2 hits in. Hey guys, how you doing? I'm like, Nascimento, come on, Nascimento, you gotta wake up, right? And Nascimento just wouldn't wake up. Raposo did get the upset in that one. I do agree with that, and I got both of those fights wrong. However, I did not get Bia Mesquita wrong. I had sub round 1, knockout sub 1-2. Sub Melissa Mullins. No mess, Mullins. Got your subbed right. Walk. Oh, your body got the light. And Mullins looked actually pretty good. It actually looked like she was trying to finish Mesquita. And then she went to get up. She left her arm out. Done. All good. So then let's get to the next thing here. We have Melsik Bagsasarian versus Mirzari Magomedov. Right? Okay. This right here. Round 1. That fight was over so fast. So fast. And it was great because we picked Magomedov and he won us some money. But then we get to the next fight. Now, this is where I'm going to make fun of Andre Lima, who was a negative 700 favorite against Kevin Borjas. But this is why you fight. The fight game is completely different. It's 2 people, and sometimes people guess wrong. So pretty much this is how the fight went. Lima would kick Borjas in the leg. Borjas would punch him twice. Lima would kick Borjas in the leg. Borjas would punch him twice. And all Borjas did was all around the ring. And Lima was like so slow and so scared that he wouldn't even attack. So then there was a couple points when so Borjas, this is called fight theory, people. And this is what we're going to talk about, fight IQ. So Borjas kept circling over to Lima's left. At one point, Lima actually got smart and threw a roundhouse that way, forcing Borjas back the other way. But then he didn't do it, kicked him in the leg, got popped in the mouth twice. It didn't matter I could have considered this fight a draw, but I give it to Borjas because at least Borjas tried. Lima was out there looking like he fell asleep. Honestly, he fell asleep. And how doesn't Lima's striking corner, his coaches pick up that every time he leg kicks Borjas? Borjas hits him twice and he runs out. And you didn't throw a 3-hit combo. You didn't throw a 3-hit combo, Lima. What are you doing? Look, this is when fighters just break. He didn't even figure it out. His corner couldn't figure out the whole thing. What you do is you face him back to the right. So when he goes to the left, hit the roundhouse. You already got him back to the right. That's when you hit the reverse punch. He couldn't figure that out. I could figure that out watching that because I'm a champion fighter. But yet, a UFC fighter and a team that makes a lot of money couldn't figure out Kevin Borjas. Couldn't figure him out. And Lima could have took this to the ground. He was scared to shoot on dude. It was like, I just got to say, screw you, Lima. Lima, Raposo, and Aswell were Aswell, Nascimento, and Lima were all my 3 picks that I got wrong for the entire card. Stuff happens, people, man. Cheers to that. Let's move along. Christian Rodriguez for Jaime Mill. We knew it was going to happen. Rodriguez got the win. So, Vinicius Oliveira, -140. Nobody thought this dude, Lock Dog, was going to do it. They was really trying to take Andre Touchy-Feely. Dan was feeling that Feely, right? But then Feely got touched up. And Oliveira, you could just see, okay, so Feely was being aggressive. But Oliveira was just like, right? And then he'd be like, bah! He was doing like that MVP stuff, right? And I was like, yo, he's going to hit him. And then it wasn't much longer that you could see that Oliveira got his stuff going and he got the knockout. Of course, let's get to wait a minute. We all know what time of the week it is.
Live from the Fight Club of Pain. It's your host, Chef Dan. Welcome to the segment everybody loves. We call this the
where the worst fighters in the world get served. And we still cash out every single night.
And that fighter got served. Ian Cutelaba got served. But we will talk about him in the DFS section because he was a DFS recommendation by the show last week on the Fight Club of Pain. Now, I'm going to run my mouth because I ran my mouth and I got even better. Navo Sterling knocked that boy out in the second round. That's what you have. That's the numbers we had. We had all of that given out on the show last week. As we said, I had the Oliveira knockout, I had the Navajo knockout, and the Kape knockout, right? Bam! That's why you listen to the Fight Club of Pain. Everybody does picks. Everybody wants the picks. I'm about cash. I want you to be our rich friend. I want you to be our championship friend. I want you to do everything you thought you could do possible in the betting world. I want you to be that guy. And the only way you could be that guy is if you join Dr. Roto using Cobra Win so you could become our rich friend. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's the thing. I picked Navajo Sterling. Cutelaba did really well, though. 5 takedowns. He had some control time. He was definitely, but then once Navajo Sterling figured him out, done. And Manel Kape. Everybody was on Kyojo Horiguchi. Everybody was on Horiguchi. And I respected him. Dan said he's going to do it too. It wasn't about that first time he beat him. They all forgot that Manel Kape is determined. When he is locked in, there's almost nobody better in this division. And we're going to find that out real soon. Because either Josh Van is going to be fighting Manel Kape or Josh Van is going to be fighting Alexandre Pantoja. And whoever happens, there's going to be no Kape and Pantoja. Get that right, people. Somebody's getting a title shot. If Pantoja is not ready, up to the health, Kape is going to get a title shot before Christmas. I'm going to say at this point, maybe November. Maybe November they'll fight. Now, if it's Pantoja, I could see early December. Give him a little extra, few more months off to do that. But remember, people, this is a live show. You can talk. You get us. Ask me questions. Let's go. Right? So, I had Manel Kape by knockout. Second, third, fourth round. Second, third round. I had the third round. Oh, I had a fourth round knockout. I had a fourth round knockout happening. I thought that this fight would have a little more ground play and not be so much like on the feet like it was. But I'm going to tell you this right now. This goes back to another fight theory moment. When Dan and I was discussing the power of Manel Kape, and then I was watching the first round, and every time Horiguchi would go in for his fast blitz, just like I said, and just like Dan agreed with, that when he has to manage the ins and outs. But I told Dan, if Kape catches him coming in, it's going to hurt him. When Horiguchi entered the pocket, Kape hurt him. And not only did he hurt him, he showed that he was going to be the bigger fighter. So that right there took away Horiguchi's blitz. But Horiguchi continued to do the blitz, which led to his knockout. Now, why Fight Theory and why the Fight Club of Pain and why the product that Dan and I put forth every single week for all of you is different from every other show is because we get nitty gritty into the discussion. We nailed exactly how Manel Kape was going to finish Horiguchi. That is why I had Manel Kape with knockout. And that was well said on the Fight Club of Pain. And we got some really good numbers from that. And last week, I didn't even give out my bets. I just was so excited to talk about stuff. I just went on with it. But this week, I will be giving out my bets. So I just wanted to say, this was a really good card. I really liked it. It showed that sometimes you can't count somebody out like Balanos or Raposo or the heart of Kevin Boras, just knowing that he could circle Lima and Lima would just be flat-footed and just leg kick him the whole time and get punched in the face for it. Who would have thought that getting punched in the face felt so great? But Andre Lima, you definitely got a bowl of kicks, of punches, and chocolate Oreos because you got whooped, bro. And that's what you look like. It comes out the other end. Shit. Right? That's what you do. Oh, man, people. We're going to do that. Cheers to that good card. I loved it. But, man, let's get to the betting part of the show. Betting and DFS Breakdown. How did we do? Now, you all know that the Fight Club of Pain has been on a tear. You all know that I'm going to tell you about it because if you bet what we bet on the Fight Club of Pain, go into the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto and read the 5-tastic picks, 3 parts to that puzzle, you will be rich every single week. We have the sauce and the right cure for all of those things. We put it right there. And this is exactly why. So picks overall went 9-3, 3-0 for the Fight Club of Pain. Again, if you only play the Fight Club picks, then you're always going to be in good money. Always green. Dan went a little crazy and he's 1-2 for it, but that's fine. Now, 5-tastic picks has been amazing all year long. I had a bad week right before we've hit this long winning streak. I went 2-3, but the 2-3 I was able to hit was positive money. Now, I did not return, of course, 100%, but because I had the positive finishes in those, the long shot, and of course the money line, that's just what happened. Those were the 3 guys that lost because me and Dan cover 3 fighters. Then I give you the parlay at Pain, which covers roughly the other 5 fighters on the card. 4 or 5 fighters. Then the 5-tastic picks I pick from the leftover fights. So you get my view of of the entire card in 3 different phases. 1 free, 1 and 2 behind the paywall, 1 in the subs only Discord, which is of course a lower price tier. If you want to just go into the subs only Discord and get your start set questions on Sunday from Dr. Roto, you can do that. Again, use code WIN, become our rich friend. So that being said, I still got about 60% of my money back. The money line wasn't as good as the 5 tasks. That's okay. Because the money line that was also in the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto went 4-1. But here we go. The parlay of Pain. Ooh, yeah. Went 5-0. I am the god of parlays. I literally put parlays together every single week. The proof is behind the paywall. Go check out my Heatastic MLB bets of the day articles, Saturdays and Sundays. Yeah, I missed some, but I played them in singles and I hit some. I was hitting up until Sunday because I had just a lot of people void out on me. I was hitting a 50% home run rate for the last 3-4 weeks. This is including on top of the UFC coverage and the soccer coverage going on right now, the bets that I have going in, the exploitation of the sport books, how we attack certain like promos. Like, so there's a promo, you got to do a $10 bet. You get $5 per goal. We're talking about FanDuel. It's a great one, but I can nail that $10 for you almost every single time with them. And I will not give out that sauce, but I do have I have some good sauce for how I nail that bet almost every time. And that's how it works. But I was able to pick 2 games that also scored 4 goals. So I was getting $20 back no matter what. That is what I do. This is what I say when I attack the sport books. I'm attacking the sports books for you and more so for you. This is like a career for me. I just want to be good at what I do and I want to win a little money on the side, but I want all of you to take that content and win more money because I'm just a simple man. I'm just, I have my normal job, 7 to 3. I come home, I karate fight. Of course, I do my katas. I had a chance at Grand Champion last div, and I don't have a tournament until practically the end of summer. So right now I'm trying to concentrate on football. I have a lot of things coming up. We're going to talk about that soon. But why I bring this up is the parlay of pain went 5-0. When the parlay of pain goes 2-3, the five tastic picks goes 5-0. There's always a constant sauce. And one thing I do, and we do at drroto.com, is teach building your bankroll. How do you build your bankroll? Well, you go 3-0 on FanDuel, and then you go 5-0 on DraftKings on the DFS side. How did I do that? Sterling, 42%. Magnometa, 43%. Rodriguez, 32%. Thank you. Collins, 36%. No one believed in him. 36% is about your average for a UFC 12-13 fight skip. Here's your key. Cutelaba, 27%. Oliveira, 29%. Thank you, everybody that did not want to play a Balanos. Was on one of my best lineups, 13%. Santos, because nobody cared about Luana Santos, 37%. Yeah, there was a little bit of people on her. And Kape was 35. Horiguchi was about 42, 45% on the thing. But here's what the thing is. DFS Hero gave you Rodriguez, Cutelaba, Horiguchi, Chokeli, Oliveira, and Magomedov. I gave you Horiguchi, Mesquita, Oliveira, Santos, Cutelaba, and Magomedov. Right? So I lost on Horiguchi, but I won on Mesquita. I won on Oliveira. I won on Magomedov. I won with Santos, and I lost on Cutelaba. But here's the key. I knew that the Soup Can of the Week was going to get smoked. But the Soup Can of the Week got 55 points. 55 DraftKings points in a loss that he got knocked out in. So, there's people that get like, what was his face? Lima went full distance, had 21 points or 16 points. Like, what? What? And he was even like 70%. Oh, nobody even cared about that bum. What a bum, right? I didn't even play him. But the fact is that you can go 2-3 on the five-tastic picks. You can go 2-3 on that money line. But when you hit the 4-1, the 5-0, you're going 9-3, and you're going 3-0 on the DFS slate, and you're going 5-0 on the DK slate. This is not bragging, people. This is what we do and have done for over a year. The product is in the method, and the method produces money. And that is how we did. We did good again. I keep pulling money out. And I want you to pull money out. I want you to take this information. I want you to ask questions and come to Dr. Roto and go to the YouTube and check out all of the great site and info that we have going on, because this is what we do. That's how we do it. That's how we bring the pain for all of you. Oh, yeah. So you can tell it was a great weekend. I won't throw in there that I played first place in a soccer tournament, in a tennis tournament. I'm literally placing in a soccer tournament right now. So I got one more. So I'm just going to win some money. What's funny is last night I went to bed. I totally forgot about one of the games that was on. And I woke up to a third place win. So again, these numbers are in the subs only Discord at Dr. Roto. I put these lineups in. I don't always get in there and get able to do those stuff like that. So for me, that's one of the main things that happens. And so that's the commitment I give to all of you. That's what I do. And I hope that a lot of you understand that. And I hope that a lot of you get to see that if you get to the site. This free weekend's coming up real soon, people. It may be this weekend. Again, I'm not the man, the myth, the legend, Dr. Roto. He's the boss man. He's the one that will slay it down. But if you can get your hands on this going in, you might win some extra firework money, people. You might win some extra firework money. All right, let's get to it. Let's get to the Scotfish Bowl 16 live draft in Pittsburgh. We got 2 live drafts this year, Dan and I. We got one for the Scotfish Bowl 16 in Pittsburgh. And, of course, we have the Fantasy Football Expo, Luke Kuechly, IDP League, because that's who I am, the IDP hero. And that's going to be at the Fantasy Football Expo, of course. And so that's the end of July. Of course, you will get... So since I did a preview of going into this one, I will do a preview of going into the Fantasy Football Expo. You will get a podcast for both of these experiences as well. And you will get a review article of both. So, of course, the Scotfish Bowl 16 live drafts do 10 picks. It's 10 rounds. I really like it over the slow drafts. I recommend if you can get into a live draft, do it, because your draft usually goes a lot faster because you get those 10 picks, but also you get a chance to jostle your people. What I really like about this is since that article dropped, and like I said earlier, I had not known that article dropped. Somebody tagged me in the Scott Fishbowl 16 in the chat, and it was Sully. Sully comes out of nowhere and goes, "Hey, like the article," and then he quoted one of my quotes in there. You got to gauge your opponents. Look at what they are. Are they a homer? One of the things I talked about when I drafted in Buffalo last year was there was a lot of Bill fans in my division. So while they're fighting over the Bills, so really ain't that many you want, you're going to go roll. So if this happens in the Pittsburgh draft, you're going to look at DK Metcalf and Michael Pittman going higher than they should. Aaron Rodgers maybe going higher. People still being tentative on him. Of course, Jalen Warren. We got Rico Dowdle. This might bump up, Freiermuth, because the tight ends in the Scott Fishbowl. I'll pull up the scoring here in a second, but that's the key to it. So when I was talking about in this article is I wanted to review, I did roster construction, knowing your roster, knowing the size and understanding it. One of the things I left out of the article that I think is a real key to the whole Scott Fishbowl is picking the right player to build the right team. You're not just picking first overall or 12th overall and then flipping back in the second round, 13th overall. You're also looking at your third and fourth round pick because your first 4 picks need to mean something. And that's what I stressed in my article. But at the same time, I also want to stress that right now. Those picks mean something. That gives you the chance to build a team. So as I talked about in my article, and maybe I gave away one of my plays, is that at 12 and 13, if James Cook and Josh Allen are there, I'm going to select them. Now, this being a super flex league, a lot of people, and don't believe this, I saw a lot of rankings for Scott Fishbowl 16 already, and they're all running it like a double quarterback. If you want to run this like a double quarterback, you're going to get smoked. You're going to get smoked, especially with the scoring. The scoring the quarterbacks can only take advantage of course, is a 300 for 10, and then the 20 points for 400. But when you get over to the other side of things, a 40-yard rush is going to be 10 points. But not a lot of quarterbacks are going to get a 40-yard rush. So that right there counts that out. So you're not going to get that a lot. So now the quarterbacks are going to you're going to look down a little bit about the quarterback. And these guys are going to go in the first round. Josh Allen might go first overall. From the rankings I saw, they had Puka Nacua number 1, and they had Josh Allen number 2. I'm like, okay, that's the way you want to do it. That's fine with me. I have no problem with you selecting quarterbacks. I will have an answer for that. So it was funny because we kind of got talking in there. A few of us started talking, got some people coming from all the different places to Pittsburgh to draft. Of course, Dan's going to be getting back from his vacation. So that's going to be fun to just finally hang out and get back, hang out, do a draft with my guy and just get into it with football. So, the roster construction is huge. You need to remember that. And you have to know the league. Also, you have to have a plan. The difference of drafting in person and behind a screen is a lot. Some people have anxiety. And if you have anxiety and you have to go up there like a real draft board, because every league has their own custom. So we're going to have a Dracula because I'm in the Dracula / Castlevania division. So you have to go up there and put your name on it. Some people take turns. Last year in Buffalo, we just all went up when we would select our player. So I would go up, put my thing down, and then select it, and that's how we did it live. That means you can be a little cocky when you select your people. That means you can get ranted on. That means you can have fun. But look, for me, in the end, I want the division. I want the winner of the Scott Fishbowl to come from the Dracula division. I don't care about I do care about the people at Dr. Roto and my Dr. Roto subscribers that are in the league. Good luck to y'all. But I want the winner to come out of the Dracula division, whether it's me or not. And I'm fine with that. I want the Dracula division to be the best division in all of Scott Fishbowl World. Yeah. Woo. So that's the key. So when I was getting over to the scoring, it's basic: 6 points for touchdowns, 2 points for all this stuff. You know, you get it's the same passing, you get half point reception, tight ends get the premium, 1 point extra. But this is where you get the video game bonuses. 310 points, 410 points. You get the 10 points for the 100 yards rushing and receiving, with the 200 yards rushing and receiving. You're getting all these points. But what this doesn't say, it says a 40-yard passing play. That's another thing that the quarterbacks get. A 40-yard rushing play, a 20-yard receiving play. There's the problem. There's no 20-yard rushing play. There's no 30-yard rushing play. It's a 40-yard rushing play. So a receiving back in the Scott Fish Bowl is actually a bonus, because if you can get a 20-yard reception, you're going to get 10 points. If you get a 30-yard reception, you're going to get another 10 points. If you get a 40-yard reception, you get another 10 points. That's not going on for the rushes, people. That's not. So the Scott Fish Bowl this year favors the wide receiver. If you go into your first round and select quarterbacks and get, I'm a running back guy, bro. I'm a running back guy, man. And I'm probably going to try to pick a running back. But if I go in there and I see all those receivers taken, it's because everybody in that Dracula division knows what they're doing. And I know we have 5 other pros in this division, plus six regular people that want to kick our butts, man. They want to beat us, especially me. I'm the villain. I am the Dracula of the Dracula division. That's who I'm going to be. I'm the Lestat the Lion Court. Yeah. How about that, people? How about that? How about the Lestat the Lion Court? How many of y'all people know that stuff, right? That's my favorite character of all time. I think Lestat's a beast. I love him. So, that being said, Anne Rice for life. Much love, rest in peace. Best author ever. Stephen King, Stephen Wing, go fly, Stephen King, away. Anne Rice. So, that being said, when you look at the scoring, and now you're seeing all these positives for the receiving ends. Now, tight ends are up in there. To get the extra point, of course, you get points for first downs too. You can literally be winning and go into a Monday night game and watch a 50-yard pass for a touchdown beat you. You thought being up by 25 points was safe? One catch of 40 yards beats you, bro. Beats you. The video game scoring is going to be different. And now you get to hear what the thing is that I was talking about. Boom factor. You need a receiver, running back, or quarterback that has a boom factor, that can score that many points every single week. But boom, it's just not about. So a lot of people are favoring Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he is boom factor, right? But does he have that Jamar Chase boom factor? Or is someone like Jahmyr Gibbs going to take over a game and then Amon-Ra is going to go 9 for 72? Unless one of those catches is over 20 yards or 30 yards, you're not going to be doing well with somebody like that. And that's hard to say about somebody like Amon-Ra St. Brown. Now, at the 12th pick overall, if he's there, which he will not be, I would pick him. But somebody like Justin Jefferson could be there. And that gives a thing. Like, Justin Jefferson has boom factor. It's not just about that. It's about, okay, would you take Marvin Harrison Jr. or would you take somebody like Michael Wilson? Michael Wilson was the guy at the end of last year who Brissett was connecting with on the long balls. Even when he didn't score a touchdown, he was still catching 40-yard bombs. That now is like a 20, 30-point game, people. You need a wide receiver like Jameson Williams. You're going to have. Those guys are going to be it. So the middle of the draft is going to be the biggest. So yes, having one of those top receivers like Puka is big. But having somebody that's going to constantly get you big plays, like Oz Hakeem type players, like Williams, like I just mentioned, people like that, those are the guys you're going to need to win the Scott Fish Bowl 16 this year. Mark my words. Check. Woo! Love it, man. Love it. That's just my thoughts about it. Of course, you can get over to Dr. Roto It's on the site. Go to the X, Dr. Roto, click on it. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's free. So you can check it out and read the article. Because like I said, everybody else was reading it. And that was really cool. That was really nice. So I do want to say thank you to, Chuck, this guy, Chuck Cavalier, asked to go see the article. Sully stepped up, got the article out. We all started talking a little bit more, and then we kind of calmed down. So for me, I want to say thank you to everybody that's going to do that, because I can't wait to meet all of you on Sunday, and I can't wait to bring the pain to the rest of Scott Fishbowl with the Dracula division. So that to me right there is the sauce in the pan. So, it's that time of year. Fantasy Football Expo's up. Right after that, you're going to get the Hall of Fame game. You're going to get if you're not drafting now, you're going to be drafting then. So you definitely want to get your mock drafts in. I promise you, your mock drafts will make you better. The more you mock draft, the more you will be ready. So it's like me being the best fighter for the past 5 years and then having to go out for a sports hernia and coming back and not being anywhere near 100%, plus having kind of nursing like a pulled hamstring or a pulled knee going into that fight. Those are all excuses, and I lost. That's fine. But I gave that dude, my basics were good enough to almost beat him. Me at 100% probably does beat him. But that's the key. That's the key. It's not about that. It's about what I was served. It was about being there and doing your best. And that's what drafting does. If you don't draft and you enter any draft online, high stakes league, best ball on DraftKings, hometown league, passing around beers and cash, you got to be hardened. You got to make sure you know where these players are going. And if you don't, that's why you pay for a service like Dr. Roto, using code word WIN, so we can make you our championship friend. Because that we do that research for you. You can get into the subs only Discord and ask us start sick questions all week long. Danger, myself, Lou, Trevor, Fuego Steve, amongst other people, so many other people will answer your questions. Of course, all defense IDP stuff is me, so we can handle it that way. But what I'm talking about is that's how you win your league. You got to be able to do those things. If you are not hardened when you go into a draft, you're going to sink in, not swim. And that is what the difference is. So when I go forward to this draft, I have been drafting a mock draft or two every single week. I even drafted one with the Get Right Fantasy crew before them, and then the Fantasy Football Network kind of separated, made their own entities. So they've been running a lot of drafts, and I love both those sites now when they were together, because they run it constantly, a few times a week. When you get close to the beginning of the year, they run a contest for a $50 gift card, and I think that's a really nice concept. A lot of people do things like that, but the one thing I see is they run it a lot. They run it a lot. And they'll run a full division, and they'll go live on YouTube and talk about the whole draft as it goes and give their thoughts. And then they give out rankings, and then you get the next day, and they draft every single day during this time. If you're drafting almost every single day, you could be like, well, you don't have a life. But it's better than coming in last place and wearing those I suck at fantasy football onesies that Trophy Smack has, which, by the way, because of the Fantasy Football Expo, I was able to meet Kevin. And Kevin Murray, his book, the Commissioner's Playbook came out. I was able to read it, and sharing many beers and wings and good times at the expo together. We're going to do a podcast next month. I want to talk about that book with him. I want to talk about what makes it, why you should know your league. Again, if you haven't read the Commissioner's Playbook by Kevin J. Murray, go check it out, audiobook it, or buy the actual book itself and learn. I promise you, you will leave knowing more. Why do I consume this stuff? So that I can help all of you. That it only makes iron sharpens iron, but this iron don't want to be iron. I want to be titanium. I want to be Excalibur. I want all of you to be that as well too. And that's why I do all these things. So that being said, I definitely want to get it up here. Let's saddle up, Cowboy. Let's have some fun. We had a nice UFC card. We have a lot of action going on. We talked about the Scott Fishbowl 16, some things that you should do and don't. And of course, any other information of that, you can ask us on YouTube or get over to Dr. Roto. Check out that free weekend when we have that. That'll be key for you to win some money and then put that money towards your year subscription at Dr. Roto for your fantasy football, and you'll win. But this is a big thing for me. It's football season, it's fight season, and it's still baseball season. That's what we do. It's never off season for us at Dr. Roto. It's always in season. And that's what I feel separates us from a lot of people. Now, there's a lot of great sites out there. I've talked to a lot of great people on the internet. And every one of them is just an amazing person. But the world of fantasy football through the Fantasy Football Expo and the Scott Fish Bowl live drafts only makes fantasy football and fantasy sports so much better. That's what I love about it, man. So I want to say also thank you to everybody that was viewing this episode and putting up with my crazy antics. Yeah, I didn't stop talking. That's just me. That's what we do, right? Of course, if you want to hear more of that and you want to win some money, you want to catch the Fight Club of Pain live this Thursday at 7 p.m. Dan will be live from the Outer Banks just like last year. We're going to be covering UFC Baku Fiziev versus Torres. This is going to be a banger of fight. I feel Fiziev is about to phoenix up in this place and come back and win. I don't know. Torres is a bad guy. Torres has won us a lot of money in the past year. So that is, again, another big episode before we get out, because we're not next week. We have an off week. There'll be no UFC. So there's going to be no way to zero in and win that free money every single weekend. Sometimes I feel a little lost. But one thing I will be doing is getting my defensive rankings, IDP rankings at Dr. Roto, and working on all of my articles, including the follow-up article to the Scott Fish Bowl 16 Pittsburgh live draft. Again, I want to thank Dr. Roto for putting on the network that allows me to be able to talk to all of you. I want to say thanks to Dan for always coming through as a partner. Also, Fuego, Steve. It's almost football season, Ultra Contrarian show season. We know how we do it, right? But if there's one thing you need to remember, it's always remember to bring the pain. Have a great day, everybody, and I will see y'all.
Yo, everybody, it's Horiguchi. So let's get to it.
Bring the pain!
For stopping by the office, get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. Until the next visit, be well and take care.